If you want your players to be elite tacklers, you need to build confidence in them by progressing through certain tackling drills. I've coached youth and high school football for the last 15 years and have talked to some of the brightest minds in tackling. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to practice safe tackling and also practice it properly. So, what's the first step in building an elite tackler? First, you need to understand that not every tackler is coached equally. Here's what we mean. Picture a car is moving at you at 20 miles an hour. Your natural instinct isn't just to stand there and take the impact, it's to get out of the way. This is the same fear response your players feel when they have a running back running at them full speed. The body doesn't want contact, okay? So we need to teach it how to absorb impact and build confidence to strike and tackle. So thinking like this, you may have some players that are okay with absorbing contact, while others are absolutely petrified of contact. So we need to ease them into it. And the way we do that in the first step to our progression is to hit bags. We're talking stationary bags that you don't move, they stand still. And the reason we want to hit bags is because you need to teach the player what contact feels like and what to make contact feels like going to the ground. When the body starts to feel comfortable hitting the bag, so will the player's mind. And I know what you're thinking, Chris, well, players move and the bags don't. So how is this going to help? And I want you to think in the form of progression. We got to teach the players how to hit something not moving. That way, when we get to moving, we progress them to moving, they feel comfortable hitting that moving target. And that's where we get into phase 2 of our safe tackling, and that's hitting a moving object. This could be a bag that is being dragged by a coach, a tackling ring that is being rolled, but now we're teaching our bodies how to wrap the bag and how to safely fall to the ground. If we skip this step, this is where players' heads uncontrollably hit the ground or they wrap legs incorrectly and the running back breaks free. We need to safely teach our players how to wrap, how to fall to the ground, and how to securely take that bag to the ground. And this is the whole goal of this drill here, or these types of drills, is to teach our players how to wrap and then how to properly hit the ground. Because remember, force through the ground is still force on our bodies, all right? So we got to teach our bodies how to fall and how to absorb that impact. Now that we've taught our players what contact feels like and how to fall to the ground, now let's introduce tackling actual players. The hardest part about teaching safe tackling is getting your head to the side and completely out of the tackle. And picture this, when a running back is running straight, his direct source of moving power is forward. If you teach the old school style way of bite the football or put your head across, you're essentially asking your player to put his head in the direct line of contact, which is where the most power is. This is why concussions are still prevalent in today's game, because coaches are still teaching the head as a leverage point, when the leverage point is actually your shoulder. So again, all the drills that we do, we want to strike with the shoulder, not with our head across. Some people call this rugby tackling. I call it shoulder tackling just because it's a better picture for your players to know that, hey, we're going to tackle with our near shoulder. We're going to keep our head completely out of the tackle, and we can still effectively bring down the ball carrier. Next, you want to teach your players how to strike with their shoulder and where the impact point is. We do this by using tackling pads, or you can even use hand shields like we do here. But the point is to get the player comfortable with the head placement. And a term that I absolutely love from Coach Andy Ryland when we had him on our podcast was head accuracy. Essentially, you want to make sure your head doesn't scrape the bag or come in contact with the tackle. And this is why a lot of the drills that we're showing you here, we're taking the helmet completely off. That way it's not a weapon, and that way we're forcing our players to tackle with just their shoulders. There's also a few key points when doing this drill. The person absorbing the contact or getting tackled wants to try to fall on their side. We want to protect the person getting tackled just as much as we want to protect the person actually tackling. So we want to make sure that they fall on their side, not on their back. If they fall on their back, as you know it, their upper back's probably going to hit first and their head's going to whiplash back. So we want to try to keep the person getting tackled as safe as possible, and we found that falling on your side is going to help. Now, to put a bow on all of these phases, we want to actually teach the players how to effectively tie everything together and take a ball carrier down to the ground. But again, you can't just have them jump in and tackle at full speed. That's like getting in a car for the first time and trying to go 100 miles an hour on the highway. It just doesn't make sense to do, and it's probably not safe. You have to actually ease into this tackling drill. And this is one of my favorite drills because it's safe and effective. 2 players will start 5 yards away from each other. Player A will enter the pit and go left or right at random. Player 2 will also enter the pit, and he needs to react to which way player A is going. So now we've given the tackler a reactive element similar to a game. He needs to quickly orient himself and then tackle the ball carrier all the way through the ground. So you can see we're almost working up to our final stage, but now the ball carrier has the confidence of knowing where to put the head, knowing how to wrap, and then knowing how to fall to the ground. And we use these pads on the ground here, obviously, to take care of both of our bodies as we're practicing safe tackling. Now, the final phase is actually in a live setting. But again, we don't want to just completely wipe out the confidence by putting kids in Oklahoma drills and just saying, okay, run at each other as fast as they can. And we don't want our tacklers getting run over and absolutely steamrolled by a running back. And again, we're trying to build confidence this entire time and all the time that we're doing these drills. This drill here is actually one of my favorites. It's a lower impact drill where players are moving, trying to get the top speed, and it still has a reactive element to it. Player here is going to choose to go left, going to choose to go right, and all he wants to do is try to get shoulder pad on thigh board, wrap up, and then try to bring him to the ground. But again, focus on the head placement, the leg drive, the wrap, and the finish. Notice this player loses initial contact, but keeps his feet driving until the tackle is over. So this is what this drill is going to teach you, and then you can progress to other tackling drills that you want to do. But again, we recommend you keep this drill in particular under 5 yards. There doesn't need to be any high speed, huge hits or anything like that. Anytime I tell my guys this too, and again, I stole this from Coach Andy Rylance. Whenever you're trying to practice tackling, you're practicing skills, right? It's no different than throwing a football or catching a football because it's a skill, and so is tackling. So we need to have our approach and teach our kids that it's a skill we're trying to build. We're not trying to tee off and unload on each other. We're trying to practice a skill and make each other better. And that needs to be the message from your entire coaching staff, from your head coach all the way down to your youngest coach. Because if you have guys hyping each other up and we're just trying to tee off on each other the entire time, that's of course when it becomes unsafe. Guys get concussions, guys get injuries. It's something we want to try to completely avoid. So now if you're looking to implement these tackling structures into a practice schedule, be sure to check out this video right here and it will help you tie everything together.